What's going on, guys? I'm Jay the Black. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about Brittney Griner. She was just released from Russian detainment, and it caught a lot of people by surprise. But I knew that from what I was hearing about Brittney Griner, and you heard all this, things that were going on with her. She was sent to, a penal colony. Then she got lost in the system. I knew right then and there they probably were negotiating, and they probably had her, detained somewhere until they got the deal done. And they were able to. And they ended up exchanging her for Victor Bout. Victor Bout is the Lord of War. They made a whole movie about this guy. His expertise is weapons, right? And this happened. And again, it caught a lot of people by surprise. It didn't catch me by surprise because I knew that they probably were negotiating behind the scenes. Even though, the United States is doing everything they can to fight against Russia, I knew that they were still trying to make this, get this done, because it just wasn't a good look that she was over there. And they were asking for a Marine by the name of Paul, Whelan? And they were trying to get Paul Whelan and Brittney Griner for Victor Bout. And Russia was like, no. And I think that they were able to just get her instead of trying to get a 2-for-1. And there were people who were upset that he wasn't included. And one of those people were Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons said something on Twitter. It got people in their feelings, so he had to come back and really tell them why he said what he said. I want people to understand something. We should be entitled to have an opinion. We should be entitled to feel the way we want to feel. And he felt like, Biden was doing this to get votes. And I mean, that's why he was doing it, because again, you can't go into a new year where you're going to start your political campaigning for 2024 and you still have this American citizen imprisoned overseas. And they got this deal done. Listen, he's getting a lot of pushback. They're calling him Micah Parsons. Let me say this. I really don't care why Biden did it, but at least, he was able to finally get a resolution to this instead of having her overseas. But I will say this about Brittney Griner. Brittney Griner did this to herself. Brittney Griner got herself arrested. Okay? She got herself arrested. She broke the laws over there and she got put in jail. When you break the laws in different countries, you can't expect America to just go over there and get you out of it. All right? So the only way she was going to leave Russia, I will say, and not have to serve the 9-year sentence that they gave her, was in a prisoner exchange. And that's what happened in this situation. But what I want to know from Brittney Griner, do you feel, as the same way you did about this country than before you left? Because you had some things to say. That's why, you didn't care for the national anthem. Ain't that right, Brittney? I wonder, does Brittney feel the same way, right? Brittney should be incredibly lucky, because there are people who have been incarcerated overseas who are Americans, and they don't get this same preferential treatment. So hopefully she is, grateful for this. I'm pretty sure she is, but let's see how long that lasts. Let's get back to this article from Fox News. So the world woke up Thursday morning to the news that WNBA star Brittney Griner has been released from Russian custody roughly 10 months after being arrested for bringing vape cartridges containing hashish oil through a Moscow airport. Griner was freed from a Russian penal colony in exchange for Russian arms dealer Victor Bout, a U.S. official confirmed to Fox News. Notably, the prisoner swap left another U.S. citizen in Russian custody. Paul Whelan, a retired U.S. Marine, was not involved in the exchange. Whelan was sentenced to 16 years in 2018 for espionage charges. Whelan's absence in the deal did not go unnoticed by Dallas Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons. Wait, nah. We left a Marine? Hell nah, Parsons posted on his Twitter. President Biden announced that Griner's release early Thursday morning, posting a picture with Brittney Griner's wife, Sherelle Griner and Vice President Kamala Harris as well. Moments ago, I spoke to Brittney Griner. A tweet read, "She is safe. She is on a plane. She is on her way home." The administration has faced mounting pressure to bring Griner home for the past several months, and this will certainly be touted by the administration as a political win. However, getting Griner back to the U.S. apparently is not enough to earn Parsons' vote for 2024. "We still not voting for you," Parsons said, and now deleted a tweet. That is why he got pushed back. I don't think it was we left a Marine behind. But it was this whole, we not voting for you. That's what really got these liberals and these pro-blacks in their feelings. And you know why I say pro-blacks? Because they're the biggest Democrats. And that's why they were upset. That's why he had to delete that, As a result, as the tweet went viral, Parsons deleted his criticism of Biden, posted an explanation and apology on Twitter. My last tweet was not a shot at Brittney Griner. I'm super happy she's back home as she should be. I just have family who have served, and it's crazy to me the president wouldn't bring him home too. I'm the furthest thing from a Trump supporter, but I'm not a fan of Biden either. Just spoke to some people that I respect and trust. I should have been more educated on the topic and not tweet out of emotion. For that, I apologize, Parsons wrote on Twitter. As if what I'm told about the attempts to bring retired Marine Paul Whelan home are true, then the best outcome was accomplished. I pray Mr. Whelan comes home, but I'm extremely happy for Brittney and her family. I am not too prideful to admit when I've made a mistake. Well, I will say this. He's been locked up since 2018. So I'm seeing people posting about his family's okay with him being, incarcerated. No, his family is not happy with him being incarcerated, but they understand the diplomatic process, and they're gonna just be patient. They're gonna be patient. Not a lot of people cared about him being incarcerated in Russia. He was only brought up when they were trying to do a prisoner exchange with Brittney Griner and Victor Bout. You know what I'm saying? But this from, it's sad seeing, Micah Parsons have to apologize to these weirdos. But I understand that, he felt like, because again, I understand when you don't know a lot about a situation, you feel like you have to, you have to sort of make up for that. And that's probably what Micah was doing. I don't think Micah meant any harm by it. I just think that you have a lot of mentally unstable people who don't do any research either. So let me say this about Victor Bout. Victor Bout is the merchant of death, okay? And people are acting like he's going to be a game changer for Russia. Russia needs this man. Let me tell y'all something about the war in Ukraine. The Russians are doing just fine. And we're going to see that in the coming months, all right? There's really nothing he's going to be able to do for them that they really need. Now, if we're talking 10 years ago, maybe 10 years ago they need him, but they don't need him to do anything. If anything, maybe, an opportunity to free a Russian citizen from overseas is something that the Russians feel like, they want to do. But other than that, I don't see where Russia really needs him for anything. I think people don't understand what's going on overseas, because I've been looking at the situation closely, unlike some people, and they don't need him to help them do anything, right? They probably could have him, but do some things for him, but for them. But other than that, I just don't see where they are desperately in need of him for anything. I just think that the media propaganda just runs wild. A lot of people don't know what they're talking about. The Russians don't need him. They really don't. They don't need the Lord of War. They don't need him. Y'all let this media propaganda make y'all believe they do. Now, maybe he can be useful to Russia. The guy is very resourceful, very good at what he did, but time will tell. Y'all wanted Brittney Griner home, and the Russians were not going to send her home unless they had Victor Bout in the process. And that's what happened in this situation. But ultimately, I think it had more to do with freeing a Russian citizen right now, more so than they needing his help. But if they need him to help them, I'm pretty sure he would gladly do it. But it wasn't like this guy was working for Russia when he got arrested. You know, this guy was out here freelancing. So I don't know how much, you know, he was really out here helping them before he got incarcerated. But yeah, Russia's, I think they're doing all right now. I don't think they need him. Parsons having another incredible season for the Cowboys after being named 2021 AP Defensive Player of the Year in his first year. Parsons has 12 sacks and 13 tackles for loss as the Cowboys are 9-3 on the season, 2 games back of the Philadelphia Eagles for first place in the NFC East. Dallas will square off with the Houston Texans in Week 14. Listen, he had to, make up for, maybe not knowing as much as he should on the situation, but I think it was the fact that these weirdos, didn't like the fact that he said he ain't voting for Biden. This don't mean he gonna vote for Biden. Biden is the worst president ever, and anybody that says differently is out of their minds. I just think that, people want to look at what America did for somebody that was convicted. She was convicted. Trump got ASAP Rocky out because he was unlawfully detained for kicking some, Arabs' asses out there in Sweden. He was unlawfully detained and he got him back. He wasn't convicted because he wasn't guilty of anything. Brittney Griner was found guilty by the Russian courts. And it's a good thing that she's back, but I'm not going to sit here and praise Biden because, it doesn't take the smartest person in the world to know that if you want her back home, you're going to have to trade Victor Bout. That was the only way she was going to come back. Anybody could have made that. They're the ones that tried to add things into it. They could have been brought Peter Whelan home, but the thing is with this country is that they always try to make it to where it looks like they didn't bend on anything. You have a Marine that's a serviceman that's overseas, and he's been there since 2018. Hopefully for his family, he's able to get released. But as far as Brittney Griner and his Victor Bout situation, I think it was a good trade for both because Russia got their citizen back and America got their citizen back. I don't know how much Peter Bout can help them, the Russians. I really don't. And if they need his expertise on certain things, maybe, or it's just about getting a citizen back home. So let me know in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll see y'all on the next one.